Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. Yay! welcome once again, my friend. My name is Wanu Alishe, and sometimes I do go by Amazing So. Welcome to the Mind Fuck Podcast. FCK stands for fun, compassion, and kindness. Man, welcome once again. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you for taking time out to hang out with me. I'm very grateful for you being here. Um, right before we start, we have like a little tradition where I have a list that I wrote that I titled Reminders to Being Human. Essentially is a list that serves as a reminder to myself and also the intention is for that list as I read it before we start the episode to serve as a reminder to you on your journey, my friend. Let's get into it. Reminders to being human. Have fun along the journey. Show yourself compassion. Be kind to others. Being complex and being simple can hold true in the same breath. Stay curious. Hold space for pauses. Hold space for not knowing. Never underestimate the power of silence. Nature has a lot of wisdom. Pay attention. There is power in we than I. If nothing else makes sense, my friend, come back to love. Pain is our greatest teacher. And the very last one, never underestimate your ripple of existence. welcome once again. Now let's get to the fun part. All right. I want to start today with a sentence that I used to say for a long time. I'm just busy. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't emotional. I was just busy. And for a long time, I mean, it sounded responsible, it sounded productive, and it sounded like I was an adult. But if I'm honest, when I look back at certain seasons of my life, busy was often much more like a socially acceptable word for something else. Overwhelm. And I did not know the difference for a very fucking long time. Let me describe what busy used to feel like in my body. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't flow. It wasn't even purpose. No. It was waking up already slightly tight in my chest. It was checking my phone before my feet hit the floor. It was mentally rehearsing the day before I even brushed my teeth. I mean, it was eating while answering emails. I mean, it was listening while already preparing my response. I mean, it was saying yes before my body had time to register what I was agreeing to. But if you had asked me how I was doing, I would have smiled and said to you, I'm good, I'm just busy. Because busy feels safe to say. Overwhelmed feels vulnerable. When I was in the army, there was a season where everything felt very compressed. I mean, it was high paced, it was high expectations, there was a lot of responsibility. And on top of all that, I was dealing with chronic lower back pain that most people could not see. I wasn't sleeping well. Some nights I was running on sleep of 2 to 3 hours for so many years. My nervous system was constantly on. But I told myself, this is just the season. This is just discipline. I mean, this is just adulthood, right? That's what I told myself. I mean, I will stack more onto my plate because I believed being busy meant I was strong. But what I did not realize that was my body was in survival mode. You see, my friend, overwhelm doesn't always look like falling apart. No. Sometimes it looks like functioning at 80% with a tight jaw and calling it normal. That's what overwhelm looks like. Here's something subtle about the feeling of overwhelm. It often hides behind competence, right? I mean, if you're capable, if you're dependable, if you're the strong one, if you can carry a lot before anyone notices you're drowning. And sometimes you don't notice either because the thing is, you're still getting things done, right? I mean, bills are being paid, emails are being answered, deadlines are being met, people are supported, you know? And from the outside, nothing looks wrong, right? But on the inside, though, there's no spaciousness, right? No Excel, none of that. And for me, that shift didn't happen because everything collapsed. No, it happened because my body started sending louder signals to me. I mean, the sleep disruption became very harder to ignore. The pain became more persistent and the irritability increased. And I remember one night sitting on the edge of my bed, exhausted but wired, and thinking to myself, why does it feel like I'm running even when I'm still sitting still? Whew. And that was the first honest crack in the I'm just busy story. You see, my friend, overwhelm is not just about having too much to do. No, it's about your nervous system believing it doesn't have enough capacity to meet what's in front of it. That's different. Two people can have the same schedule. One feels totally engaged and the other feels like they're barely holding it together. The difference is not productivity. No, far from it. That difference is called regulation. You see, my friend, after I transitioned out of the army and I was navigating, chronic pain, identity shift, and literally rebuilding my life, I had this strange period where technically I wasn't busy, but I still felt overwhelmed. And that confused the fuck out of me because I thought overwhelm came from having too much on your calendar. Until I started to realize something way deeper. Overwhelm can also come from unprocessed emotion, unmade decision, unspoken boundaries, unfelt grief. Your schedule can be light, but your internal world can feel heavy as fuck. And here's how now I distinguish busy from overwhelm in my own body. Busy now feels focused, intentional, challenging, but clear. There is effort being made, but there's also choice. Overwhelm feels scattered, urgent, internally pressured. There's movement, but there's no sense of agency. And I will tell you this right now. I learned this difference the hard way in my life. I used to say yes quickly. I used to fill my calendar back to back. I used to equate rest with laziness. Now, before I agree to something, I pause and I ask myself, does my body expand or contract? I mean, I literally ask myself that, feel that contraction or expansion. I mean, do I feel my shoulders tighten? Do I feel my breath shorten? Does my chest subtly brace? And I'll tell you this right now, your body knows before your mind does. There's also a cultural layer here. In America, especially here in America, busy is a badge of honor. I mean, people will ask you, how are you? You respond, busy. And it's almost said with pride. But no one asks the follow up question, are you busy in alignment or are you busy in survival? Because they feel very different in your body. One of the biggest shifts in my own life came when I stopped trying to increase productivity and started increasing internal capacity. And like I always say this, capacity is built very slowly. It's built through sleep, through micro moments of safety, through honest boundaries, through saying no, even when it disappoints someone else. I remember a moment not long ago when someone invited me into a project that sounded aligned on paper. You know, the old version of me would have said yes immediately. New me, I felt a subtle contraction. Nothing dramatic, but a very quiet internal, not right now, Wano. And instead of overriding that feeling, I honored it. And I said no. And for a few hours after that moment, I felt some kind of discomfort. I mean, the old programming came up, the old loops, right? What if they think I'm unreliable? What if you miss an opportunity, Wano? What if this was important, Wano? But underneath that discomfort was something new, my friend. Relief. That relief told me I wasn't busy. I was simply protecting my internal capacity. You see, overwhelm often comes from living in urgency instead of agency, right? Urgency says, do it now, decide now, answer now. Agency, on the other hand, says, you have the choice to pause. You have the choice to check in with yourself. When my nervous system was dysregulated, everything felt fucking urgent. I mean, text messages felt urgent, emails felt urgent, even other people's emotions felt urgent to me. But not everything that feels urgent is actually important. Sometimes it's just your body reacting to an old pattern of needing to respond quickly to stay safe. There's also something important to say here. Overwhelm is not a weakness. No, it's simply information, feedback. It's your system saying, this is too much, or this is too fast, or this doesn't feel safe. That's it. But if you've been conditioned to override yourself for so many years, you might not even recognize that signal until you are exhausted. And that was me a few years ago. I didn't collapse dramatically, I was slowly drained. And because it was gradual, I called it normal. I want to share something else, something small but real. There was a time when even brushing my teeth with my non dominant hand felt so overwhelming. Not because it was hard, but because my system was already at capacity. You see, when your baseline is survival mode, even small changes can feel like threats. That's how I knew it wasn't just busyness, it was system overload. And the solution wasn't doing less overnight. No. The solution was creating internal safety in tiny ways, baby steps. Lying flat on the floor for a few minutes, yawning fully and letting my body complete the cycle, drinking water slowly instead of rushing it. This thing sounds very fucking simple, but it literally helped rebuild my capacity at a nervous system level. Consistency is what we're looking for here, not perfection. Now, here's a question I want you to sit with, my friend. If you couldn't use the word busy, how would you actually describe your current state? Tired? Scattered? Avoiding? Inspired? Pressured? Because I'll tell you right now, language matters. When we keep labeling overwhelm as busyness, we miss the opportunity to respond accurately. You do not solve overwhelm with better time management alone. No. You solve it with regulation, with honest boundaries, with rest needing not to be earned, and with clarity. And I will say this, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being busy. There are seasons of deep creation, growth, and movement, right? But when busyness becomes an identity, it can quietly disconnect you from yourself. For me, I used to feel valuable when I was needed. Now, I am learning to feel valuable when I am regulated. That's a completely different foundation. Do you see, my friend? So, if you've been saying to yourself, I'm just busy, I'm not here to correct you. No, no, no. I'm not doing any of that. I'm simply here to invite you to check in with yourself. Close your eyes for a moment after this episode. I want you to notice your breath. I want you to notice your shoulders. I want you to notice your jaw. Does your body feel like it's running, or does it feel steady? You do not need to fix anything immediately. No. The only requirement is that you get honest with your body. That's it. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can say isn't, I am busy. No. The bravest thing you can say, my friend, is, I am overwhelmed. And even braver than that, you can say, I need support. I need rest. I need to slow down. Because I'll tell you this, my friend, and remind you, being a human being isn't about doing the most. Being a human being, it's about staying connected to yourself while you move. And that, my friend, requires capacity, not constant motion. If this episode resonated, I want you to try one thing today. Before you say yes to something, pause for about 3 breaths, right? Feel your body, then decide. Not from pressure, from agency, right? Notice what changes in your body, right? Because maybe you're not just busy. Maybe your system is asking for something gentler, right? And choosing to listen to that request might just be the most productive thing you end up doing all week. As always, I want to thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Thank you.